as per the Wisconsin statutes. I am looking for a motion to approve the agenda, or if there is any discussion regarding the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Are there any visitor comments?
I got a question.
Okay.
Do we know how many superintendents applied for the position
We do.
that was open?
We do. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. And I want to clarify before we're moving on that item number 3 on the consent agenda is to table the bylaws for tonight. I have said that I want to be cautious of everybody's time and be respectful. And we had quite a bit of other items that needed to take a priority over the bylaws. So we will pick them up again next month if the consent agenda passes. So with that said, do we have a motion or any discussion?
I'll move to accept the consent agenda.
Thank you, Reagan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sandy. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we move on to unfinished business and the sewer rate study. Kyle or Michelle, do one of you want to walk us through that?
Well, we heard Jody from Baker Tilly last month with the sewer rate study, and from that, I had taken and broken them down 2 separate items, the wholesale for the town of Alba and Village of Fall River, and then the other one is for the user rate change. So in your packet, you'll see the 2 columns, the current rate and the proposed rate. And the action part of it, as you see in each memo, is a little bit different, needs to be handled, so.
Let's start with the recommendation on the wholesale sewer rate. Are there any nuances beyond the memo that we need to know about that?
The only thing I'll mention is I did get a question from the Village of Fall River, and it's something they had not noticed before, but in 2022 and previous years, there's been a payment for economic development, and they questioned why that was in the shared portion. That has already been removed. That was not in this year's budget. So moving forward, we're not going to be including that charge of $5,000 or $10,000 for economic development. The question they had was, how much would that affect their rate? It would drop their rate by about a penny or two, but the rate study as it developed didn't capture any of the inflated prices we're seeing now. And so, the recommendation is really to keep the rates as recommended, but we're not doing that economic development charge.
So it would be a recommended rate of 59 cents for Fall River.
$2.59, with 59 cents being the difference between the old rate, or current rate, I should say, and the proposed new rate.
Thank you. Do we have any questions on that? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the recommendation on the wholesale sewer rate? Anyone?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Brooke. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion to approve the wholesale sewer rate.
Thank you, Reagan. Do we need to take a roll call on this? No?
I don't believe so, because you're not spending money.
Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Okay, now the general metered sewer rate. Any comments or additions to what's in our packet?
This was strictly taken out of the study, so I hadn't made any changes.
Yeah, and all I wanted to add is that Katie from wastewater did have some input into the waste haulers, and so I believe that's incorporated here. It was kind of confusing how they had it broken out, but I believe we're all on the same page now, and this will cover the expenses.
Katie, you're comfortable?
Yes, I kind of drew it up, so I'm comfortable with that.
Okay. Do we have any questions or a motion on the general metered sewer rates?
I make a motion to approve the general metered sewer rates.
Thank you, Sandy. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mary. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same side. Motion carries.
Okay.
Next on our agenda.
Just a minute, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We were wondering if you could, at this point, probably make a separate motion that would indicate at what date it should be effective. And do we have that date for them?
We don't.
It would
We talked about as the wholesale rate gets approved by the council, do we want to have those dates be the same?
What was the previous dates?
There wasn't a date suggested. My suggestion, so there's no proration, is to go with the meter read date, which is the last business day of the month. If it's like the 30th or 29th.
So you're looking for a motion to increase the rates effective October 31st or December 31st?
I would say potentially November, because the city council will have to act on the ordinance to adopt the ordinance with the sewer fees in it.
Okay.
And so that would give us November 1st and 15th, and then we would have enough time to publish the ordinance. That should work.
Yes, so the November, what is,
November, last business day in November.
It's the 28th, isn't it? 29th, 30th, or the 30th?
Let's see. Wednesday the 30th, or, yeah, because,
Wednesday the 30th?
yeah, Monday is the 28th, Tuesday the 29th, and Wednesday the 30th.
So Wednesday the 30th.
I believe the first was Reagan, the first motion on this one?
No, it was
was,
Sandy.
Sandy, okay. Sandy, would you like to amend your motion to be effective November 30th, 2022? Okay.
I would like to move to amend the previous motion to approve the general metered sewer rates effective November 30th, 2022.
Thank you.
I'll second that if you need a second.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Whew, we got that one done. Okay, next on our agenda is the utility internal financial policy. Michelle, would you like to review that? Oh, no.
Yep, you're right.
Was I right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
So this is standard practice right now, but we just don't have a formal policy, which we felt we needed to. In the memo, I just put some examples on how it would work. It's just, you know, there's some things that are jointly purchased between multiple utilities, and we separate those costs accordingly. So this policy just captures that practice.
Do we have any questions for Michelle? Do we have a motion to approve the internal policy?
I'll move to accept the utilities internal financial policy shared expenses.
Thank you, Reagan. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mary. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we will move to the financial report. Michelle did a fabulous job of giving us a 10,000 foot overview in our memo. But is there anything you would like to add to that, Michelle?
We were, and I did email you earlier this week, we did get the electric and water income statement to come out. It was still manual. It's not coming out exactly the way it should from the new software, but we're getting there. So I did get that out to you. We also, a little bit different, we added the sewer accounts to the treasurer's report. And then what's included is the treasurer's report, the cash disbursements report, the purchase order register report, and the graphs. So the action would be if the commission would want to approve the accounts payable report, which I emailed to you and handed out tonight, the cash disbursement report that's in your packet, and the sewer purchase order register that was also in your packet. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Did everybody review the reports? And do we have any questions for Michelle? Okay. Seeing no questions, do we have a motion to approve the financials?
I move that we approve the financial reports as presented.
Thank you, Mary. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sandy. And roll call.
If it includes all the reports, yes, and then we'd have.
We need a roll call.
Yep. Arnold,
Yes.
Motive,
Aye.
Curtis,
Aye.
Rule,
Aye.
Andler. Motion carries.
Thank you. Next, we have delinquent accounts on the tax roll.
So if you want to move into closed session.
Oh, they were separate items, so I didn't know if there was anything you wanted to discuss before we went into closed session. No. Okay. So, moving on to item 3, we would like to get a motion to adjourn to closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85, I wrote over it, I think it's an F.
It's an F.
Thank you. Considering financial, medical, social, or personal histories, which, if discussed in public, would be likely to have a substantial adverse effect on the reputation of any person referred to in such histories or data. Specifically, to discuss delinquent utility accounts to be placed on the tax roll. Do we have a motion?
I move that we adjourn to closed session.
Thank you, Mary. Do we have a second?
I second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sorry, I think this has to be a roll call.
Oh,
Right.
sorry.
Motive,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
Rule,
Aye.
Curtis,
Aye.
Andler. So I will hand out
So the motion you are looking from the commission is to move the discussed accounts to the tax roll.
The eligible delinquent utility accounts to be placed on the tax roll.
I move that we place the eligible delinquent utility accounts on the tax roll.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yep, we do a roll call.
We have
Oh,
roll call.
sorry.
Okay.
Curtis,
Aye.
Modis,
Aye.
Ambler,
Aye.
Rule,
Aye.
Arnold,
Aye.
motion carried.
Wonderful, thank you. Next, we have the 2023 utility budget discussion. Sir,
So as you can see in the memo, there were just a few adjustments from the last time that you've seen the budget. And they were explained. I know in the water and light one, I highlighted the affected numbers in pink, so you could see the expense, which followed through, onto the revenue and expenses page. I didn't know if you had a chance to look at those, or if you had any other questions that came up as you were looking through the budgets.
does anyone have any questions for Michelle on the budget?
Is there anything you wanted to highlight or point out, or?
The things I wanted to highlight are in the memo.
Okay.
For the electric, the decrease in 5,000 because I found out it was allocated in another spot. The general maintenance account going up 87,000 because the roof repairs were more.
That's a bummer.
It is.
Are they
but-
gonna have to replace the whole roof?
Right, Dave? Pretty much, yeah. And then the water, so the the repairs would be split between the electric and the water. So you see that also increased that 87,000. And then the wastewater item, do you want to?
Sure, so there's the city council already approved earlier this year, aeration diffuser project, and we're not able to complete the project this year, so we're carrying those funds forward, and as it gets completed next year, then the funding will be there to finish it up.
Does anyone have any questions for Michelle or Kyle? Seeing no questions, do we have a motion to move the budget forward to the council?
I'll make a motion to move the budget forward to the council.
Thank you, Brooke. Do we have a second?
I will second.
Thank you, Sandy. Do we need a roll? Yep.
Rule?
Aye.
Arnold?
Aye.
Modem?
Aye.
Wait, Ambler?
Aye.
Curtis?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Wonderful. Next on our agenda, we are looking to adjourn to closed session under WISSTAT 19.851C to consider the employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. In addition, I would like to ask for permission for guest Kyle Ellefson to remain in the closed session. Do we have any questions or a motion?
I move that we adjourn to closed session.
Thank you, Mary. Do we have a second?
I'll second motion to move to closed session.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Nope, roll, sorry.
Arnold?
Aye.
Curtis?
Aye.
Ambler?
Aye.
Rural?
Aye.
Modem?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you. So moving on to item 9, there is no action to take from the closed session. And so we will move directly to the superintendent's report.
Sorry.
So the superintendent's report is in your packet. We are starting to add, Katie and I are working together to get the wastewater incorporated with the water and electric. So you'll see items on that. We didn't really have anything that wasn't on the agenda to report tonight. We already talked about the disconnects, and that was going to be my only other item to let you know. So that's all I have, unless there's any questions.
No questions? Okay. Future agenda topics. In November, I would like to put the bylaws back on. But in addition to that, are there any other requests for future agenda topics? Okay, hearing none. One thing I'd like to do before we take motions to adjourn is make sure that everybody is aware of the upcoming meeting dates as we move into the holiday season. The next scheduled commission meeting is Thursday, November 17th. And then in December, we have a scheduled commission meeting for December 15th. We are going to, prior to the meeting, ask as many commissioners as who can to join us for a meet and greet with the employees of Water and Light and Sewer, just for appetizers and a chance to get to know each other better. That's at 4:30 on December 15th. And then once that closes, we will move right into the commission meeting. Yeah, so that'll, thank you. The meet and greet part will be at Water and Light, and then we'll come right up here for the meeting. Or we talked about possibly Zooming it from Water and Light. Yeah, so we don't have to travel. We're gonna Zoom it from Water and Light. Okay, so with that said, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Brooke. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much, everybody.